Well, at least we know one person's happy that the series is over. Creator doesn't have to deal with the fans as much anymore. So I just got back from the amazing digital circus, the last act, and yeah, okay, I know. First concern, do not worry, this is going to be a spoiler-free review. Obviously, I'm going to talk about like spoilers with the first 8 episodes, and especially episode 8 because they aired that one alongside the new final episode. But I will not spoil anything that happens in episode 9. I will make a separate spoiler video that I will publish when the last episode comes out on YouTube. But as of right now, I will not spoil anything that happens in the new episode. So don't worry, I'll be as vague as I can when I talk about it. I guess just first, I'll talk a little bit about like the experience of getting to see the amazing digital circus on the big screen. Sorry, if you want to hear how it actually was, you're gonna have to wait a minute. I want to talk about how cool it was getting to see this in a practically sold out theater. Like I didn't get a great look at how many seats were filled, but pretty much all of them were filled, and it was pretty cool. Like everyone clapped at the end. Everyone was having a great time. Some people talked a little bit during episode 8. One person in particular kept like saying the lines as they were being said in the episode. I was kind of like, oh gosh, if this person does this during the last episode, I'm gonna be annoyed. But thankfully, people definitely stopped talking once the last episode started. It was definitely cool just getting to see like some of the sequences from episode 8, like the musical number, the everyone experiencing their own personal hells in on the big screen. That was really cool. There were a couple parts where like some of the characters sounded a bit too loud. Like you can definitely tell this episode was not made for like theater speakers. So some of the characters' audio kind of was a bit like not we weren't peaking the mic, but like they were definitely like louder than they probably should have been. But like that's not really a big deal. Yeah, it was just a lot of fun. The pre-show, like you kind of think there wouldn't be trailers. There were trailers. Like first we got this like screen that just like a countdown timer with like 10 minutes. Like, okay, are we doing this instead of trailers? Why? And then like at first it was just and then like with 6 minutes left on the counter, we started getting trailers. At first it was just like they had an ad for Hot Topic showing off all the Glitch Productions merchandise. That was cool. And after that it was a couple of the classic movies that were getting shown on the big screens like the other Fathom events. So like, okay, fine, whatever. Then we got just straight up regular trailers. Like we got the trailers for Spider-Man again, Despicable Minions 3 again, Toy Story 5 again. And like it's funny because there were a lot of kids movies. I don't know why they felt the need to put trailers in front of this, but like yeah, it's funny because like again, it's very clearly they're like we don't know what to put in front of this. Here, animated stuff, all the animated stuff we got, and Spider-Man, I guess. When again, those are like not saying adults can't like those, but I'm just saying those are not made for the same demographic as Amazing Digital Circus. So it's very funny that once again we get to see them be like, ah, it's animated, it's just for kids. It's one last time. Well, maybe not one last time. So I have to wait for the YouTube upload, see what YouTube does there. And okay, finally we've talked about that. I'll get to actually trying to see how much of the finale I can talk about without spoilers. First of all, general thoughts. What did I think? I really liked it. This was very good. It was a very satisfying finale. If I had, honestly, as of right now, this could change, but as of right now, might be my new favorite episode of the whole show. It was really, really good. If there were any complaints I were to have, let's get those out of the way. The few kind of vague complaints I can give. Um, the first, I want to say 15, maybe even 20 minutes. We're not bad. We're not bad. Let me get that out of the way. First 15, 20 minutes were not bad. But it was kind of like, okay, this is good, but like for a finale, I don't know if I want it to all be this. But at a certain point in the episode, an event happens. Again, just how vague I have to be to try and talk about this. an event happens and two characters talk about it, that's where it really, really started to turn on. And pretty much from that moment onward, it was pretty much the perfect finale I would want for this show. It gives me pretty much everything I would want. Like there are still a couple the nitpicks and things like well hold on, but like for the most part, pretty much gives me everything I could have wanted from the final episode of this show. All the acting in this episode is incredible. Like obviously the acting in the show is always good, but like this episode in particular, pretty much everyone got a chance to shine. Michael Kovac in particular, there are multiple scenes with him in his acting. I was blown away by like how good he was in this. And again, we've already gotten really good moments from him in this show. Just this and also I believe it's some of these actors I don't 100% remember their names, but I believe Amanda Hufford is the actress who plays Ragatha. She also like again in that again she is really good here. So good. Trying to think what else I can really say without really spoiling anything. It manages to balance drama and comedy very well. Like this is definitely a mostly dramatic episode, but it manages to have like again, first 30 minutes in particular were very much drama heavy. And then like 30 minutes in they start throwing in like a bit more jokes, a bit more funny moments, and again like it helps that they were legit very funny. Like everyone in my theater was like kind of was laughing, which is very funny because these again after 30 minutes of like very dramatic moments everyone was like starting to laugh again like oh yeah this is a funny show. I mean this is a very funny show. We forgot. The animation is very good. This is not a spoiler because I believe Gooseworks literally said this at one point. They like she tweeted out like, "Oh, I can't. People are gonna go to the theaters to see an episode where characters mostly talk." And like, she's not wrong, but like there are definite moments with the animation where I was legit like, really, kind like I guess nothing like that makes it stand. Nothing that's like technically better than moments we've gotten in past episodes, but again, there are some really good. There are still really good animation moments, especially that stack up to the best animation moments in the whole show. That I am definitely glad I got to see this on the big screen. And I'm legit trying to think if there's anything else I can say that's not like a spoiler. I guess just trying to kind of keep it vague. The writing is very like okay, obviously the writing is very, but like yeah, the writing is very good. There are some moments that are like very realistic. Like I feel like it would have been easy for some moments to be played a bit more dramatic or like I guess like maybe like how you would see them in like a typical kind of scene like that, but like they're played very realistically, and I think that would they were very well done. Those moments definitely did a very good job in terms of portraying those things realistically while still not quite like how you would normally see them in a movie. Anything else I can say? The music was very good, especially some of the again, especially closer to the end when they start like when things start to ramp up a certain way. Again, if you've seen the finale, I think you know what I'm talking about, but like yeah, the music in the last 10 minutes in particular is very very good. Easily some of the best music moments in the whole show. Some of it actually kind of sounded like music you would hear in like Portal. At one point in particular, I was kind of like, this sounds like a song you would hear in like a Portal game where you're like shooting Portal or you're like trying to solve a puzzle. I guess just one last non-spoiler thing I'll bring up. The like okay, I guess there are a couple more things I thought of. The characters technically it's kind of like a bit it's definitely like again this is something I think Goosework said where she said it would be a very bittersweet ending. She is right. I'm not going to say exactly how obviously, but like she is not wrong in that. I definitely felt that, and I think it worked very well because I think that is kind of the perfect ending you could have for this show, and it definitely felt did very well lining up thematically with the rest of the show. And at first, okay, I think this is something I thought of. Part of why I didn't like, I not didn't like, but like the part of why I was kind of like a bit underwhelmed by the first 15, 20 minutes is because it confirms there is a fan theory regarding the show, and the beginning of the beginning of this episode confirms that it is true. I'm not going to say which one, but yeah, the beginning confirms it's true. And I was like, ever since I first heard the theory, I was kind of thinking, no, no, don't do that. I don't want that. But that, yeah, and at first I was kind of like, really? So it's true? Come on. But it was still like, okay, well, let's see where it goes. And it did end up working very well, and I actually ended up being glad. The more I thought about it, I was kind of glad that it went that way because it definitely contributed to the whole bittersweet aspect. Versus where if that theory was not true, it would kind of be like, well, okay, that was just kind of a down. That was just kind of a bummer. Like it would still, I feel like it could still be bittersweet even if that theory were taken out. But like, yeah, I definitely think that contributes to it being more bitter, slightly more bitter, and slightly more sweet. I mean, oh gosh, slightly more sweet than bitter. And yeah, just it's a very satisfying finale overall. All the acting is great, animation's great, writing's great. Couple nitpicks here and there, but for the most part, yeah, I was very happy to get to see this. This has been a great show overall. Maybe I'll do like an episode ranking when I do that spoiler video. We'll see. But as of right now, yeah, great finale. Loved it. Definitely, like I understand there's some people who cannot see it, but like if you can, try and find a way to see it. If not, I know you're gonna love it when it comes out on YouTube. And I'm gonna give The Amazing Digital Circus episode 9 and The Amazing Digital Circus The Last Act an A plus. So those are my thoughts on this whole finale. If you've seen it, be sure to let me know what you think down in the comments below. And obviously, please don't spoil it. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe to see more reviews like this in the future. And on that note, I will see you next time. Have a great day.